Hello, welcome back to a video. I haven't made one in a minute, and this one is about the thing that I always like, and that is retro computers. Wow, I totally didn't touch it. It's a mess in this room, and it is not even my fault. Look at this. None of this is mine. Anyway, I'm actually messing around with a new microphone. It's this thing. I actually got it for free in a box of stuff several months ago, and I kind of forgot I had it. I was getting ready to set up the microphone I always use, which is this thing, this Samsung, or not Samsung, Rode Video Micro, but I didn't because, well, you see, it's always weird because whenever I do these computer type videos, I move around all the time, and I found this and I figured I'd give it a shot. So if it sounds absolutely terrible, I'm really sorry, but I think it's going to be good. Anyway, what we're going to talk about today is this Gateway Select. What is it called? This is a Gateway LP Mini Tower. It's a Gateway Select 750. That's what it is. LP Mini Tower CAD Select 750. That's a mouthful. Manufactured on July 5th of 2000. So this thing is going to get to go to the bar this year, is what it sounds like. So this computer is nearly 21 years old. I actually started the day off. I'm currently on spring break, so I have a time to myself for once. But I actually started the day off planning on messing around with this thing because it's been sitting in a corner for months. And then I went to Goodwill today, and I managed to get a hold of this for $5.99. This is a PCI USB 2 card, which is something very useful for this computer because it has USB 1.1, and anytime I plug a thumb drive into this thing to get files over to it, because I don't usually put it on the network because it's just a big hassle and it's slow and blah, and even Windows XP has trouble connecting to my modern file server. Windows 2000 is probably about the same as XP. You could probably get it to work. 98 is just a no-go. It's throw things on a thumb drive and let them copy at the speed of a snail. So I thought this would fix that problem. Now, I actually have no clue what state this thing is in right now. So the first thing we're going to do is boot it up and see what's on it. And then I'm just going to copy some stuff off of a thumb drive over to the computer, and we'll see how slow it is. This is a terrible camera angle, but you know what? I don't care. At least I'm here. So I need to plug this thing in because it's just going to turn on as soon as I plug it in, if I remember correctly. Ooh, that hard drive needs to go. Oh boy, so it appears that the CMOS battery is dead. Let's hit escape to run setup. Yeah, it thinks it's 1996. Oh, that's fun. So the clock battery in this thing is definitely dead. What is today? It is March. Why is my watch? March 26th. March 26th, 2021. And it is 12, 13, 15, 51. That should be all we need to do, so let's just exit saving changes, yes, and see what we end up booting into. I think it should be Windows 2000 dual booted with Windows 98. Got the floppy seek test. And yes, I am right. So we're going to boot into Windows 2000. Another thing I think I'm going to do in this video is swap out the hard drive. Just have a listen to this. Yeah, it works though, which is cool. Oh, I should have hooked up some speakers. Oh well. Oh boy, password. This isn't Windows 98, I just can't hit cancel. Do I have a password on here? I do. Okay. It's the password I thought it was. Cool. Wow, it's like against the law to boot up an old version of Windows and not hook up speakers, I think. Okay, so we've got Windows here. So let's see what software I have on here. Wow, I have drivers for a wireless card installed, as well as the Netgear card in here. I think what I need to do real quick is go and grab my thumb drive so we can get a baseline as far as how quick the USB is. Okay, so now here is my thumb drive that has all my tools on it. This is a Samsung 32 gigabyte USB 3 flash drive. So it's always funny. I use this with older computers all the time, but not something that would ever normally happen with them. So that is plugged in, and we should see it come up here in my computer. If I actually go to my computer, removable disk G. If I double click, I did double click, why isn't it opening? Why is the computer locked up? It says that both of these are compact discs too, even though that one is a DVD drive. I don't know what's up with that. But we've got the stuff here. Let's see if, okay, we got sound effects on here. I've got all sorts of stuff on here. Alright, so if we go into computer utilities, do I have Crystal Disk Mark on here? It doesn't, I've got disk info and HD tune, but not disk mark. That's annoying. Whatever, let's just try and copy something. So this is 104 megabytes. And you can see what I mean. Okay, let me zoom in to here. I should have zoomed in a while ago. It's very, very slow. So it's kind of annoying to copy large files on this older computer. And it's not the hard disk. Like, once this is done copying, I'll copy it from one place on the hard disk to another, and we'll see how long that takes. Okay, as you can see, it is finally done. I don't know how long that took. I'll put it down there, but now let's just try and copy this from the desktop to my documents. And you can clearly see it is not the hard disk in the computer, because that is it reading and writing from the disk at the same time, and that goes pretty quick. So we're just going to go ahead and permanently delete that. But I think that's a pretty good test. I really want... do I really not have disk mark on here? Disk info. I don't want disk info, I want disk mark. We'll definitely get Crystal Disk Mark over here, because I'm very interested in how long this is going to take. I'm going to have to get an older version anyway, because the Disk Info, the latest version, doesn't run on Windows 2000, so I'd assume that the same is probably true with Crystal Disk Mark, so I'd have to download an older one anyway. Maybe I'll even drag an Ethernet cable over, and we'll see if we can download this on the computer itself. So yeah, it's running really nicely for not having got out in a while. So yeah, everything's very snappy. The computer works great. Oh, I accidentally clicked on Firefox. We'll see how long that takes to pop up. There we go. This is Firefox. What version is this? 10.0.12 from I don't know when. 2010. I want to say this version is actually from 2012. I think this version's from 2012. That sounds right to me. But this is the latest version of Firefox that runs officially on Windows 2000. You can get newer ones running on here. up to like the one that runs on XP from like 20. I know that one's from, I want to say 2018, 2019, maybe even no, or maybe that's Chrome. I think it's 2018 is the latest version that runs on XP, or maybe it's later. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm gonna shut this thing down. Actually, I'm gonna get a crystal disk mark onto this computer. Okay, so I have this CD for a wireless in Wi-Fi card that I have, and I'm very curious whether this works on Windows 2000, because I'd like to just download the software on here, honestly, because then I don't have to leave the room. So let's put the CD in the drive and see if it's got drivers for Windows 98, or not Windows 98, Windows 2000. Alright, so it might be doing an auto run. Looks like it is. Alright, so welcome. Please do not connect the adapter to your computer until instructed to do so. Okay, click here to start. I accept. Next. Hey, it looks like this is going to work on Windows 2000. That's cool. This will be another really good test of the USB 2 card, actually, because right now I'm going to run this Wi-Fi adapter on USB 1.1, which is going to be painful. It's taking its time, that's for sure. Let me grab the Wi-Fi adapter. Okay, so here's the Wi-Fi card. Alright, so it wants me to connect it to the USB ports. So let me go ahead and do that. Which brings me to another issue with this computer, and that is that there really aren't enough USB ports on it. And they're also... oh man, I'm almost surprised that fit. They're also really close together. There's only 3. There's 3 USB ports on this computer. One of them is being used by my thumb drive I've got plugged in. The other one by this mouse, and the other one by the Wi-Fi card. Meanwhile, this guy here, this keyboard, is plugged in over PS2, so it's not taking up one of those valuable USB ports. But I'll get 2, maybe even 4 more if I find a thing. Alright, next. I think it's good to go, maybe? Are we going to have Wi-Fi on Windows 2000 with this Wi-Fi card that easily? I bought this card at a yard sale, actually, which is interesting. Okay. Connect to a network. If you don't have this feature, no, we don't have this feature. So let's search for wireless networks. We are going to connect up to my 5 gigahertz network if it will let me. No, it only recognizes, and it also sees 3. That's interesting. So I have a Google Wi-Fi mesh network, and some older devices don't recognize it as one network. It recognizes it as 3 different access points, and this is no exception. The other thing that's interesting is that it's not picking them up as 5 gigahertz networks. So I don't know which one of these is actually the closest one. 100% signal, 100% signal, 84% signal. So we want to connect to one of these two. We'll just go with the top one. There's one in the basement, which is probably this one, reading 84%. There's one in my room, which could be this one. And there's one downstairs hooked up to the modem, which could be this one. We're just going to go with this one, though. Connect. You need to... yeah, okay. That's... alright, so... oh, wow. That's not very good. It literally just throws the password out there in plain view. Okay. Might have things changed. Never in a million years would a password just be thrown out in the air like that these days. That's kind of crazy. Congratulations. Your profile has been successfully configured. Finish. Look at that. Okay, so That was very easy. So does that mean that I can just get on the internet on this computer now? So let's search up crystal disk mark. Okay. So it's doing something very slowly. I don't know if it's the Wi-Fi connection, the computer being slow, or the USB, or probably a combination of all three, but it's trying. Ooh, it looks like it's just that the computer is not able to do much. Wow, why is it so... I don't know why it's not really doing anything. Just try and close this down and open it back up again. So, yeah, search for crystal disk mark. Okay, now it looks like it's working. Maybe it would have been easier just to put it on a thumb drive, but nah, I wanted to download it on the computer. Wow, I knew it wouldn't be that easy to get this thing online. That was like way too easy. Just throw a CD in and follow directions. No, there's no way it could have been that easy. Let's see if IE6 is going to work, or whatever's on here. It did About Internet Explorer and it did nothing. Let's just stop loading and go to Google. Hey, look at that. So this thing is on the internet. Is this IE6 or IE5? IE5, okay, so let's try and go to old version. I think old version will loads on IE5, so oldversion.com, yes. Look at that, okay. So, disk mark. Let's see if they have crystal disk mark on here. Oh, no way the crystal disk mark website will load on here. Nah, knew it. Okay, let's actually hold on. I've got an idea. Let's go to Google on here. And let's try and search up disk mark. And let's just copy. Why won't it let me copy the web link? Let's just go ahead and copy this link and paste it into Firefox and see if maybe that works. Is the time correct? Yes, it is. So, Google loads. Search up crystal disk mark. And the whole thing just kind of locks up. So, the internet needs... it's going to take a little bit of messing around to get the internet working properly on here. Actually, there's one thing I want to do with the internet on here because we've got it going through that thing. So let's go to oldversion.com and let's try and download something. So let's go to utilities, right? And let's try and download some kind of piece of software that might be a fair bit in size. Let's just try, let's try and download 3D Mark 03 and see how long it would take to download on this Wi-Fi card through the built-in. So let's go ahead and download this, and we'll save this to the disk, and we'll just save it on the desktop, and we'll see. Okay, so that's the kind of speeds we're getting with the built-in wireless. So we're obviously not going to sit through this. We'll see if that changes. Okay, so while we are waiting on that test, I figured we would take a look at what I managed to score at the Goodwill today. I guess you can decide for yourself whether it was a score or not. I got this for $5.99. It is a Roseville USB 2.0 2-port PCI adapter, which actually they're selling themselves short a little bit when they say 2-port PCI adapter, because I noticed this in the store, but that right there is actually a header on the board to get really 4 ports out of this thing. I can't believe they don't say USB 2.0 2-port PCI adapter with USB header or something like that. It mentions it in the manual here, which it comes with, which is cool. Manual's not too bad. It's written in decent English. Talks about 2 external Type A ports, 2 Type A ports by connecting an optional 2-point USB cable to connect to USB 3, and then it shows USB 3 right here. And it has all that. It says the package content. That's kind of not very good formatting. Their package contents, and that's up there, but whatever. It talks about the pinout of the header, tells you to make sure you pay attention how you put it in. It talks about Windows 98 SE installation and how you need to use that disk. It talks about how for Windows ME it has the drivers. For how Windows 2000 it has the drivers, but make sure you have Service Pack 4. And for Windows XP, how the drivers are already installed, which is cool. It's got the card in this little anti-static bag. Here it is. It's a nice little card. There's the VIA chipset. There's the USB header. And yeah, you can't really, at least in my thing that I've got here with my 2 ports, you can't plug it in wrong because it's got a blank out. But this plugs into here. And then we've got our other 2 ports on the other end of this cable here, which did not come with it. I just have that. Inside we get the driver disc, random plastic and a wire that I'm just going to throw away because, there was also food on this or something, some sort of crumbs that was kind of gross, and I very quickly took the liberty of throwing that away and then wiping all the stuff off. I want to throw this away, but I have to take that microphone off, and that's kind of a hassle. So let's see if I can make this in the trash from here. I'm not going to bother moving the camera because there's no way I'm going to make it. I did not. Inside we also get this low profile bracket. We get the bracket that probably is what was on the computer, what this came out of. And that's pretty much it. And over here, we still are waiting. So, there's nothing else to do in the video until this is done. Okay, this is taking more time than I'm willing to wait, so I'm going to get the computer on its side, and we're just going to throw the card in, because this has been like 20 minutes and we're not getting anything. I probably should have selected something smaller than a gigabyte. But, you know, when I take into consideration that my MacBook can copy a gigabyte from its internal SSD in less than a second, you know, a gigabyte just doesn't seem like a lot of data. Here we have all of our wonderful PCI slots, and I need a screw. So let me get one of those. Hopefully this guy that I have here will fit. So let me grab the card. Here it is. We're just going to slot it straight into here. If it's going to go in. It's a weird, it doesn't use the full slot. Don't tell me that this is the wrong, what? This is weird. There we go. Something's weird. It doesn't use the whole slot. Is it supposed to be like that? I might look at that little manual and see what it looks like installed in a computer. It doesn't say anything about installing it in the computer. This is strictly just installing the drivers. So I assume that that's in there correctly. Right now I can't get it out. This is the strangest PCI card I've ever seen. It's cut off on the side. Do they all have that little slot there? I don't even remember what a PCI card looks like. It's been so long since I've held one. Let me see if there's one in easy reach. I don't know. It's probably fine. Where'd I put that card? Here it is. Let's just shove it in here and live dangerously. Surely it's correct. Well, that time it went in a lot straighter, which makes me feel a lot more confident about this being correct. Oh, I should have plugged that cable in earlier before I shoved it in. Oh, this is going to be difficult to plug in now. Oh, no, that wasn't difficult, actually. Okay. So there's that. Now let's see if this screw that I picked out will fit. Because I think it might be kind of big in the thread department. Oh, no, it fits fine. Alright, so we have that plugged in. Now, I don't know where we're going to shove these two USB ports quite yet. I don't know if I can make them fit out the back here or not. But yeah, let's just see if the thing works before I do it. Now, let's hope it doesn't blow up whenever I apply power. I think that I actually am going to point the camera down towards the cards whenever I give it power, just to see if anything blows up. Because I won't say that I'm 100% confident it's in there right. Well, that's a good start. Screen's lit up. No smoke. I want to put the cover on to make it slightly less loud. Oh, the CMOS is wrong. I need to put a new battery in there. But yeah, let me just get this thing booted up. Alrighty, let's boot into Windows and see if the card works. Alrighty, let me log on here. And let's see if the mouse is moving. There we go. Alright. So if we... Man, this thing's being slow. Alright, manage. Hey, look at that. It is indeed working. Via USB Universal Host Controller, USB 2.0 root hub. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to delete that thing there. And I'm going to unplug the thumb drive from the ports built into the computer. Alright, so I unplugged it from the port on the back of the computer. And it's clearly working because there it is. So let's just try and copy this over. Oh yeah, it's totally working. That is fantastic. From 2 minutes to like 10 seconds, that's some serious improvement right there. Let's plug that wireless card into it and try and get back on the internet. The ports on the card are very nicely spaced out. There's enough space so I can have this huge, thick, if I can plug it in the right way, this huge, thick wireless card next to my thumb drive, and it all fits, which is cool. Why is it finding hardware again? Okay, so that should be back up, which it is. So let's go over into Internet Explorer again and go over to my history. So is the internet working for starters? So if we go to Google, okay, so we have Google. So let's go over to old version again. Okay, so it's not actually online right now. It says adapter is active. The software is like locked up though, which is fun. Okay, so it's connecting to the wireless network now. It's doing it very slowly. And we're about to go through camera battery number 2 of this video already. Oh man, this is taking forever. Oh, are we connected? I think we are. Alright, so let's try go back to Internet Explorer and let's try and go to Google again. Hi. No internet connection is... It's just loading cached pages right now. Let's just exit out of these of the wireless utilities and let's open it back up. So if we go to programs and open up the software again, let's see if it'll work. Because it's just not working through the wireless adapter, or I mean not the wireless adapter, through the USB card. It was working, now it's not. So, oh. Okay, so I am connected now. Alright, I think it might have just needed a little bit of help. So let's go to Google. And let's go to... Alright, so we are working now. Cool, so let's go back to old version and see if it's any faster. So we were downloading 3D Marco 3, I believe. Go back to utilities, and yeah, we tried to download 3D Marco 3. So let's download it and see how it was, because it was going to take like 30 or 40 minutes before. Let's try and do it again. Okay, so now it's going to take like 8 minutes to download through this wireless adapter. So That's a pretty significant improvement. Now the last thing I'm going to do is run Crystal Disk Mark, because now we should be able to actually run it and it not be absolutely unbearable. So we'll go for preparing. We'll run it at 1 GB again, because that should be nothing for USB 2. It should be able to handle that no problem if this card is working correctly. And we'll see if we get what I'm expecting. I'd say that I would say that maybe 20 megabytes a second is pretty reasonable to expect over USB 2 through the PCI interface in a almost 21-year-old computer. I think that's not expecting too much. I think that should be a reasonable expectation. We'll see if that's what we get. So it's 12:13 right now. We'll see how long it takes for things to actually finish. Alright, we're about to get some of our first results. Let's see how it goes. I'm keeping the camera on because I want my reaction to be live. So far my reaction is, oh, look at that. It was exactly what I was expecting, right around 25 megabytes a second. That's, not too shabby, I don't think. What I'm going to do is see how that compares as far as USB 2 goes. I'll run this on 2 other computers, both of which will be Macs, but I'll run it on my modern Mac here. So there's what this thing can achieve through a USB 3 bus, USB 3.1 bus actually it would be. And here is what it is on a modern computer that only has USB 2, a late 2011 MacBook Pro, which is the last MacBook ever to not have USB 3, or the newest MacBook ever to not have USB 3, I should say. So we'll get our sequential write next, which I would expect to be 25 as well, because this thumb drive is more than capable of exceeding 25 megabytes a second in both the writing and reading department. So as I say, I would expect basically exactly the same as reading for writing. I'd expect it to be basically 25.2, give or take a little bit. This is taking more time than I would like. Okay, so the writing is quite a lot lower than I was hoping for, I'll say. Okay, so I'm very happy with the read. The read is great. The write leaves a little bit to be desired. I was really expecting it to be like 20 at the absolute lowest. 25 writing is pretty good though. So I guess we'll wait for the write to finish just because I should be nice. And I'm going to cancel it because we're only going to be worrying about the sequentials anyway, especially considering that in newer versions these values down here are completely different. They measure different things, more sort of revolving around SSDs. And as I said, I'm going to use the Mac version, and I'm not going to bother getting older versions because I have the current version on both of those machines, and the sequential is all I really care about anyway. So yeah, we're just going to stop that. And once it cleans itself up and all that, I'm going to try and copy this file here that we read from the drive, and I'm going to try and copy it to it and see how it is. Alright, so we'll stop that. So now what I want to do is I want to open up my computer removable disk. We'll make a new folder just so that I don't have to worry about file names, and we'll copy that over and see how long that takes. Now you see that is not terrible, okay? So yeah, that took like, maybe 5-10 seconds. Let's delete this now, and I'll actually safely eject something for once in this video. Now I'm going to plug it into the USB ports on the computer and see how those fare. So now if I go to my computer, removable device, It takes longer even just to get the files pulled up, I've noticed. Yeah, it's a very significant difference. So let's go in a new folder here. Actually, I'm gonna, oh no, we did actually get rid of it. So now let's try and copy this over. This is through the USB 1.1 bus built into the computer. Yeah, you can tell there is a huge difference. Alright, that was slow. That was very slow. So, yeah, I'm going to say this was a success. Now, there's only one other thing I want to do, and that is check if these ports inside work correctly. Now, I'm not sure if they're wired up correctly, so first I'm going to plug something into it that I don't really care about. Like this mouse, that's probably the best thing to plug into it for start. I don't want to like plug a thumb drive with data on it or anything. So here's those two ports. Let's plug this mouse into it. Okay, so it lights up. Cool, so that does work. It's finding the hardware. Alright, cool, so the mouse works. And if we go to let's see if both ports on the back work. Make sure there's not like some stupid 2-port limit. So I'm going to unplug the thumb drive from the built-in port and plug it into the other. So we've got the thumb drive going, and we've got this mouse going through the card. And are we still on the internet? Yes, we are. Can I just mention how amazing it is that this version of Internet Explorer from the 90s, I can type in a search term into the address bar. Okay, so now lucky for you, my camera stopped recording as I was ranting about Safari. So let me just say, what I was saying is I went in and I went ahead and searched for Google on Bing, right? And then I realized that oh well, now it's just going to take me to Google. But whatever. Let's just search for test like I was doing actually. Okay, you know what? You don't get to have a demonstration. But you kind of did. You saw me just type test right into the Internet Explorer 5 address bar, and it searched it right up, okay? I don't know why, but for some reason the Wi-Fi card isn't wanting to work. But whatever. Actually, now it looks like it might be. Whatever. But what I was saying is you can just put a search term right into the address bar in Internet Explorer 5 from 1999. Yet in Safari, whatever version runs on Leopard, I don't know, I'll put it in. All I know is it's from 2011, okay? It has a separate address bar and a place for Google up at the top. If I search something in the main address bar, it just doesn't know what to do with it. It just thinks it's a website and fails to load it up. I have to search in Google, which is stupid. I don't know why it makes me do that. But the fact that a web browser from 12 years prior to that one has got it figured out, I don't understand. Anyway, I'm sorry you couldn't see the demo, but you know what? Oh well. This video's been going on long enough. I don't need to give myself more trouble whenever I try and edit this down into something watchable. So the last thing that I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to shut this computer down. And we're going to find a spot for this USB thing, which also I plugged another thumb drive in, and all 4 ports worked just fine. The wireless card was working fine for a second at least. This mouse is working fine, and the 2 thumb drives are working fine. So that's cool. Even though they're actually underselling this thing. They say it's 2-port, but really it's 4-port. That's cool. Anyway, let me figure things out, how I want to mount these ports. So what I think that I'm going to do is just get rid of I can figure out how you take this stupid cover off. I know I've done it before. Oh man, you know what? I know how this cover comes off. You gotta take this whole thing apart. This is ridiculous. Ah, man. I think this is how you do it. If I remember correctly, I gotta remove some screws, get these side panels off. Yeah, there we go. Now we should get this off. The screws now it's It's gonna go so we're turning the project in half. There we go. Woohoo. So, I think that I want the ports to be right here just because it'll be easy. Hopefully. Yeah, perfect. So these ports can go right there. There might even, I can even screw them in. Look at that. Let's unscrew this screw here. This is going to work out perfectly. Let's give you a little more light. Let's give you a close-up on what I'm doing. Alright. So there's a screw right here for something. I'm just going to undo that screw. I think it's going to line up perfectly. Look at that. Things are working out well. There's no way this front cover is going to go back on correctly. As smoothly as this is going right now, there's no way. Alright, so that's right there. Cool. Try and get that straight and get that on there tight so that the ports don't move around. Let's see if the front case goes on. Oh, I need to, of course, pop out the floppy plastic thing. There we go. Alright, now we should be good. Perfect. Now I just need to get this optical drive to go back through. Perfect. Alright. Look at that. Well, I was just in the middle of saying, look at that, as the front cover went back on and was about to put these screws back in, and then my camera battery died. So we are on battery number 3 of this video now, but I think that battery number 3 is going to have enough charge in it to probably get through an entire another video, because, well, this video's over now. Look at that. Those ports are there. I just gotta get this drive screwed back in. And look at that. There's these USB ports are screwed in, so I can unplug them. Yeah, those are in there good. I can use them. In the front, this thing's got front USB ports. Look at that. I'll store this somewhere safe inside the computer so it doesn't go missing. And yeah, look at that. Front USB ports. They're in there good. I can't believe that screw lined up. But yeah, that's cool. So what we need to do now is get this plastic all put back on. There we go. We have now got a fully upgraded gateway, whatever I said this was at the beginning of the video, computer with 2 USB 2 ports in the front, as well as 2 USB 2 ports in the back, which means that this computer now has a total of 7 USB ports, 3 of which 1.1, and 4 of which 2.0, which is really cool. So that means that I can plug in, a mouse at the back into these USB 1 ports, and then in the front, I can shove in my thumb drive and copy files nice and quickly over to the machine, which is really cool. So that was a very successful upgrade. Thanks for watching. Yeah, we'll see you next time. Really cool to see this Windows 98 machine with USB 2 ports, even though I didn't bother installing it in Windows 98, but I assume it'll be easy with that driver disk. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm glad to be back tinkering with computers. Stay tuned, because I may very well be picking up an iMac this weekend for like $50. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.